Welcome everybody. Another Monday night show. We can call it Monday night show from now on. Monday Night Live. We just came back from Rockcliffe's event. Warrior event is a great multifamily conference just for his mastermind. And I was just sharing that one of the greatest things that you get at these places is the advice and the guidance that you get. I brought our recent deal that we have in Fort Pierce to them, and I thought it was already a really good deal. So I brought it to the finance guy who helps Rod and is one of the guys that Rod has on stage. And he was like, listen, you don't even need to raise CapEx. He's like, don't raise CapEx on this deal, because as we raise CapEx, it means let's say there's a $100,000 cash flow. If we raise CapEx, that means there's maybe another 10 people, 12 people that are in the deal, right? So it actually dilutes the returns a little bit. But he's like, don't even raise the CapEx, go right away and go for a construction loan, okay, which they'll give you. He's like, we can get it for you 6.8%, less than what we're paying right now with the seller, and they'll give you 75%. So we may even be able to get money that we raised out of that in the first 30 days. So now we raise less money. That means our investors get higher cash flow, and we're going to now borrow money to do the CapEx work, which increases the expenses a little bit, but doesn't dilute the returns for our investors. So they can do all that for us. And then another thing that I learned, okay, so this is just some updates, and Jasmine, hello. Oh, so real quick, just while I remember this, is Jasmine and Thomas, they've been on Grant Cardone's show. So 3 of my partners that we do deals with, part of the Legends group, they all made it to Grant's show. Did you guys make it to the finals? I think yes. I saw you guys made it to the finals.
Yes.
Awesome. So what happened? Is it over?
Yeah, it's over now. I wasn't there today. It was just Tom. So yeah, it's over.
Did you win?
I don't know. He's like, they don't want us to disclose anything, blah, blah, blah. No, like, Tom.
Oh my God, I can't believe he didn't disclose anything.
Yeah.
So
we need to watch it. We need to stay tuned.
Yeah, and actually David's here. David was on the set in Vegas. So David's here. I met him on the set, and now he's here on this call. Awesome. And he's joining me in the mentorship group. So, if nothing else on that show, I met David and David met me, and we're gonna do great things together.
Yes, sir.
So really, really awesome. I think being around Grant, being around guys like Rockcliffe, just being in their vicinity levels you up. Like just being at these conferences. I go from conference to conference. And the reason why I'm always so on fire is because you leave these conferences so on fire. Like you can do anything. You can take on the world. So you leave Grants, you're hyped. I mean, maybe you can only carry that on for like 3-4 months. Then you go to another conference, like boom, you're hyped again. That level of energy, gets things done. Like you'll get deals done. People will be enrolled into your like aliveness. Like when we don't have trainings, when we don't have like exciting things, vacations and things to kind of like chop up our year of just doing our routines, it's not that exciting, and people can feel the difference like when they're hanging around you. So being at these events, we all raised each other's energies and vibrations. It was super cool, on top of the great advice that I got. I've been talking a lot about creative financing, and this weekend I was speaking to a syndication attorney and an Atlas, which is a financing company. I spoke with both of them, and they said one of the ways that you can do deals, because in Vegas, I'm trying to figure out how to assume this loan. They're like, why don't you can buy the LLC, assume the loan, assume its liabilities, but obviously there are things you can put into the clause that can de-risk it. because it is a little bit risky to just buy a company, buy an LLC, assume it's loan. On one side, the bank could call the notes. On the other side, there might be skeletons in the closet in this LLC. So how do you protect yourself? Right. So they're telling me all the different ways that it's done, and people are doing it all across the country. Now, there is, for anybody that's just about to go out and buy LLCs that own properties, the one thing is interest rates are rising, right? So banks had no reason to call a loan before, because if they get a loan, they're gonna sell it, they're gonna get another loan, they're gonna sell another loan, and it's gonna be probably lower interest rate. Now they may sell a loan at 4%, and they may be able to resell the loan at 7%, 7.5%, right? So it makes a big difference. So that is the risk that you got to think about. But we are going to take a property down in Las Vegas with this method. The other thing about it is usually when you buy an LLC and assume their loan, the loan is much lower, right? It's a lower amount because they're selling it at an appreciated rate. So you're going to have to come up with more money. So we got another deal in Las Vegas that we're going to take down. We raised 2.5 million, assume basically the loan that they already had in place. It's a 4.3% Freddie loan. We're really excited about that. So worst case scenario, we would have to raise another 2.5 million to cover the loan or get another loan. So, we got to make sure that we have good attorneys in place to draw up the warranties from the seller right now, and get a insurance in place that basically covers the entire, building and everything, with all of that in place that they're comfortable with. So the attorney that I spoke with says, yeah, there's a lot of insurance companies that will do that. Now our only risk comes to, do we risk the bank calling the note if they find out that the property changed hands? So it wouldn't actually change hands because it's still in the LLC, and these are non-recourse loans, so nobody's really guaranteeing it. So chances are they're not going to call the loan. All these guys said in 30 years they've never seen anybody call the loan. So I think it's pretty safe, and because it's not like a $50 million deal, I will be comfortable with that. So for anybody out there, this is another method of creative financing. I've been talking a lot about creative financing, and that in today's market, sellers are going to be pressed and they're going to want to sell somehow. And if they can't sell it at their price, conventionally, then there's a way to do it creatively. All right. So Ola, go ahead, ask your question.
Yes, good evening, everyone. So my question is, how do you mitigate that risk?
Yeah, so of the bank calling the loan?
Right.
Yeah, so the risk
happens.
Yeah, so really what we're banking on is in 30 years, these big experienced attorneys and stuff never seen it happen. Hopefully it doesn't happen. The second thing is you got to look at worst case scenario. They call the loan. How much time do you have to cover this amount? Right, it's $2.3 million. Can you raise it? Do you have people on your team that just have it liquid to cover it, and then we can get another loan? Right, that's the worst case scenario. And if the LLC doesn't change hands and the LLC is just paying, the money, there's no reason why a bank would just go and explore and look at, who is now the manager and whatever of an LLC. So I've sold pieces of my LLC. I've done this on my properties multiple times in single family, and nothing has ever, we literally will change immediately. Somebody gets a loan and we immediately put it into an LLC and nobody ever calls a loan. Okay. So I wouldn't say it would never happen because I don't know, but I've never seen it happen. These guys have never seen it happen. I don't know if anybody on here has any, anything that they've seen happen like that. Please do let me know. I'd love to know that.
So another question. So with the LLC purchase, then you won't need to pay that percentage to assume the loan, correct?
Yeah. So with a LLC assumption, you save a whole ton of different fees with the bank. Also, you don't have this tax transfer because a lot of states, they reassess the taxes as soon as you sell, right? So when we assume it like this, there's no change in that. So that's another thing that you see. There's a lot of different things you save in that way. So actually, I found out majority of the deals in Las Vegas and Ohio is actually done that way. And the thing about Vegas is interesting because even if you sell a property, they don't actually reassess the property. Property taxes just go up by a certain percentage every year, regardless of how much it's sold for, which is pretty cool. Yeah, so I don't know if I will keep the KP on board. I mean, this is, they're actually a very reputable company here in Las Vegas. That's why I think I feel even better. Now, if it's like an 18-year-old that I'm assuming the loan from, and if something happens and I'm trying to sue them and they have nothing, then I would be liable. But this is a big company that's out there doing a lot of work in Vegas, and they're pretty reputable. They're in the newspaper, like they're known around here. So I was just sharing with somebody earlier today that when somebody cares about their reputation, when reputation matters, you can actually count on that to, you can actually trust them a little bit more, and you can rest a little bit easier when people care about their reputation. So like for me, I'm doing these calls and I'm putting myself out there. I gotta care about my reputation, right? So like a couple people can just jump onto this call and be like, oh man, you screwed me over, this and that. Now there's a problem. So just by me doing this, it's almost like, all right, well, he at least got to behave. He at least got to be doing the right thing, be in integrity, be honest. So thank you guys all for being on this call and keeping me honest and being in integrity. So thank you guys. Also, I do want to thank Jasmine. I want to thank Caroline. I want to thank Nick. I want to thank Mike Bailey, Connie, all the people that are that have trusted, and all of our investors, every one of you guys, if you guys have invested with me and I didn't mention your name, like really thank you for all of your trust. Thank you for your support constantly. Like I'm like coming back to Florida, and there's a chat that we created called Alex is in Miami. And so for anybody that wants to hang out, we're actually doing a meetup, I think in Hollywood or something on Wednesday night, if you are in Florida. And then we're going to be in West Palm. I don't know, I think Friday, that's going to be a meetup. So I'm like just super honored of all the people that really want to be a part of what we're up to and a part of this community, and even Robert from last week, he was on the call with us. He was really impressed. He was impressed with all of you guys. He's impressed with the fact that, after being on that call, there's like 6 people going to his Mastermind conference in Houston in January. Everybody, they actually asked me, his sales guy actually called me and goes, hey, a lot of people are asking if you're confirmed to come to this conference. I'm like, yeah, man, I'm confirmed. So as long as I have my seat next to Robert, I'm confirmed. And yeah, there's a lot of people coming, which I'm super, super excited about, showing up together. Like when we show up together, it's powerful. It looks powerful. So yeah, for you guys that are jumping on late, we don't actually have a speaker. What I wanted to do more today was more of those connection calls. Like, so we break out into rooms for you guys to hang and meet each other. I got feedback from a lot of people when we sent the feedback form out that people wanted more of, connections. And also people wanted me to go into those rooms as well. So that is what's going to happen tonight. A lot more, because the last couple of times we didn't really get to, and last week we did, but we went on for like 3.5 hours on this call. So, it's Halloween. I don't know. Hopefully nobody starts knocking on the door over here, but I don't got anything for them anyways. We can give them some tofu or something.
Have Ryan put out a empty bowl.
Oh.
And turn your lights off.
You want to put out an empty bowl outside? No, it doesn't matter. It's fine.
Bah humbug.
We're just gonna invite them. We're just gonna invite
Well,
them.
just so the doorbell doesn't ring like every 5 minutes.
Bah humbug.
We give them hot sauce and tofu. Oh my god. Cool. All right. So let's see. Let's take some questions first. If anybody wants to ask anything, this will be a really, really free-flowing conversation type of call tonight. Next week, though, I have one of the top podcast people coming on to talk about social media and talk about LinkedIn. Now, LinkedIn is one place that I know nothing about. My team doesn't really know anything about LinkedIn as well. So she's going to talk about LinkedIn. And apparently, LinkedIn is where all the people that got money is hanging out. So I know there are people that I just spoke to this week that's like, hey, all I do is raise money on LinkedIn. So we will talk about LinkedIn next week. So don't miss next week for sure. Next week is one of my dear friends from high school. If you want to look her up, she has a podcast called Young and Profiting. She is one of the top podcasts out there. She like dwarfs like Brad Lee and Rockcliffe. And people pay her like $10,000 to $15,000 a month to manage their LinkedIn's, like billionaires. So she's like, she'll talk about her podcast, how to make a podcast. If anybody's interested in making podcasts, she makes, I think she said $70,000 or $80,000 a month just from sponsorships in podcasts, not ads, sponsorships, which is insane. So she's going to talk about, she's like, I broke the system. I can make anybody's podcast #1. So that's going to be coming up. And I have a podcast also coming out of 2, one called That Changed My Life. And the other one is going to be like a multifamily real estate nightmare podcast. And I'm going to be doing that with Razul. If anybody knows Razul, he's a great dude. All right, Ian, what's up, brother?
What's up, Alex? So my question is, it's a long one, so bear with me. I have a property that is, they want 13 million. They don't have the proper documentation. We call them an unsophisticated seller. And got a loan, come back the loan, the lender said they can do 4.8 million at 6%. So my question is it too much money to raise to try and obtain that property for 13 million when the debt or the loan is only about 5 million? Is that too much to try and raise, or do you want to stick at that 65% debt?
I mean, think about, so this is what one of the like 500 million billionaire from the last conference told me. He goes, you're raising $6 million or you're raising $8 million on a $18 million deal, right? Like you're raising $8 million to get an $18 million deal. He's raising $8 million to do a $60 million deal. So you actually want more. You want to raise less money and get more control rather than putting, putting $8 million in to get a $13 million deal. That's almost like paying cash, right? So you want to think about, if you're going to pay cash, you better get a super, super awesome discount.
That's what I was thinking. That was just probably too much. And like I said, unsophisticated seller don't have proper T12, so that's knocking that loan way down. Talk to a lender that said get better documentation, you know, that loan price goes way up. Also, LinkedIn is the best. Yes, indeed.
But also, listen, like this is the opportunity with an unsophisticated seller, especially if it's something that's a $13 million deal and you can get some seller financing on that thing. That would be sick. Like, hey, seller, I want you to get what you want. You have some crappy documents that the banks won't let me even lend on it. Right? So if that's the case, then you can go. It's not me, it's a bank. I want to buy your property. Right? I want to buy your property. The bank's not letting me buy your property. What can we work out here? What's a win for you? You want 13.5 million? I'll do 13.5 million. You give me a loan, okay, or you hold a lease option, a master lease. I'll cover your loan, your debt. What's your loan? $5 million. I'll cover that and give you another, $200,000 a year. Like you make out good, and you give me the time to come and make the numbers work out good, so I can go get a real loan on this thing. So it's almost like it's like a lease option. See, this works for a lot of people that can't sell their properties and want to right now. Like nobody's buying that $13 million deal unless you guys get creative.
Got it. Awesome, Alex. Yes, indeed. I might have to connect with you to get more technical about it before I go blowing my mouth off at it. Telling the broker that we'll open up to that because I got the deal under control, man. They want to sell to me. I got that property super off market before I even hit market, and they just can't sell. They want somebody who can
Nobody's
close, and I'm
selling.
like,
Nobody's selling right now, especially not at the price that they want. Hey, Mike Bailey's in the house. He's the legend here. If you want to add to anything that I'm saying, please feel free to do so. Jasmine and Massive Capital have been great, amazing teachers of mine. Every single guy in there, every single person, sorry, not just guy, but every single person in that group has been super supportive. And I learn every time I'm on a call with them.
Yeah, thanks, Alex. Thanks, appreciate it. I was thinking through what Ian was talking when I was gonna jump in. I unmuted just when you started to talk about the seller financing scenario because that was like, definitely this one needs a different touch because if they don't have any good supporting documents in it, not that it's as bad, but it's kind of like some other the storage place in a way, just where you don't have the full documentation. It's much easier to do seller financing sometimes, things like that, when I was just going down that same line as what was the location, Ian? Just quick.
Houston.
Oh shit. Okay.
Oh shit. Mike lives there. Tell him to go negotiate it for you.
Yeah. No, that's cool. So definitely, we're actually working on something that's similar to that right now. That's in actually down near Freeport, Galveston area. Something similar, which is a little bit smaller, but I'm sorry.
I said just happens to be 13 million.
No, it's a little bit smaller, but it's a similar scenario though. Exactly, is there's just it's terrible condition right now. It's not great condition or something. The documentation's terrible. There's just the only way to sell it is to sell it off market, meaning not even with a bank or lenders and stuff. It's almost like cash buy, or you got to do seller financing to take these things down. Yeah. And you either got to go with a lot of discount and do cash, or you go with seller financing and you can help them pay what they want. The nice thing with seller financing is they don't have to pay all of the capital gains right away either. You can help them make it easier on their tax burden, because they just got to pay on what they receive, as far as down payments and stuff in the first year. So there's some opportunities there to work with. So definitely, connect with Alex and I after. We can work through, talk to you about some of that stuff. Just got to look as well, make sure, that you do want to do that. Even if you don't have great documents, you still need to do some due diligence on it though. They've at least they've had to file taxes on it or something. So, just see what you can gather from them and work through it, backwards and forwards a little bit and figure out how to pay for it.
Yeah. Mike, how many units you at? What are you at right now? What are you at? And how much time?
So I was figuring up just yesterday, this year, I've closed on, as a general partner, I've closed on 12 deals this year.
Dang, son. How many in the time that
the smallest was, I did the smallest one I did by myself in Illinois is 10 units is the smallest. So I got a couple 10 units in Illinois that I did on my own. And then the biggest is 226. And then the one we just did together, the 174. So overall, it's about 800 units this year.
Total. So you've been doing this since what, July last year?
Yeah.
And what are you as general partner now? GP.
So it's around 900 units as a GP overall. I mean, not counting, just this year, this 2022. And which is about 80 to 90 million of assets under management now.
Dang.
So I'm looking to hit 100 this year. So 1,000 units, 100 still this year.
You mean 1,000 units, 100 million?
1,000 units, 100 million this year.
Yeah. So it dawned on me this past weekend, real quick, I'll take questions. It dawned on me this weekend that the reason why I've gone so fast, I thought it was just because I was good, but really because Mike has been teaching me and he's been my mentor. And I've been saying that, I'm like, Mike is actually the one that's gone really fast. So, this is what we talked about this weekend too, like being in these spaces with like people that have done it. They leave you a roadmap to get there. Like I want Mike's roadmap. I don't want somebody's roadmap that's taken a year and a half to get into their first deal. So like it's super important to align yourself with the right team, the right people. And I think all of you guys being on this call, definitely in the right place. Hanging out with us, you're not just by being in our proximity, you won't be able to help but to go fast. Jasmine's gone fast, Nick's gone fast, Caroline's gone fast, Ryan's gone fast, Connie's gone fast. Everybody that has been around us has gone fast. Nick is 16 years old and he's about to be a GP on 400 units. 16. This kid's out of control, right? So you guys are in the right place, man. So go ahead, DJ.
Hell yeah.
So real quick, DJ almost burned Airbnb that we I'm never letting you down on that thing.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that for sure. I wanted to follow up on the bank calling the LLC transfer. Actually, this single reason is what delayed me getting to real estate. So I have a little bit of experience on this. So back in 2009, I was looking to purchase my first property to live in, but it was going to be a duplex. The seller had the property in an LLC, and I mean, I didn't really know anything. So I was like, all right, I'm trying to get a home, a primary residence home loan. But I was like, hey, if I can purchase this in an LLC and then keep the renter in there, transfer the lease and all that, that will work out great. The caveat is, I mentioned it in the chat, is that back in 2009, obviously the banks were losing a lot of money, right? So once I was going through my due diligence with my mortgage company, and then the bank that was funding the duplex at the time found out that it was going to be sold, the actual property was underwater at the time. So when they found out, they were like, hey, there's going to be a due on sale clause. So if I wanted to purchase the property, I would have had to actually put a shit ton of money in on top of the down payment to cover the loss of the duplex. So the one thing I learned from that, and I think we can all see this in financial history, is that the bank will never lose money. And when everything is going good and, property values are up, and it makes literally no sense for a bank to call a note, they're not. But if they can call a note and get money and get the property and then sell that property at with a higher interest rate, they could possibly do that. So there's no telling what they can do, but that's just something to be aware of.
Yeah. So definitely, that's what I'm saying. Like, there is a risk that's attached to this, guys. Now, that property, obviously, it was underwater. They're probably late on their payments, this and that. So the bank is going to look into it. So you got to make sure that what you're buying into is good standing. It's making money. They haven't made any, they haven't missed any payments. They're reputable. I mean, there's no reason for a bank to just You know, if they started doing that, like that would be losing money right there. So just to go around and do that. So, you know, banks, this is how banks make money. Okay. If you guys don't know how banks make money, it's called fractional lending. That means for every $100 that they have, they only have to hold $10. So if I put $100 into the bank, they can lend that $100 out 10 times.
Actually, that's not even required anymore.
They don't even, okay, so they don't even need it anymore. So that means they can lend it out. Your $100 that goes into the bank, they can go and lend it to 10 other people $100. So do they ever lose money? It doesn't even matter if a loan goes bad, because that's only a fraction of what they actually had to keep. That's only a fraction of what they, so you see how the system is so messed up all the way up. And like, if we can start to look at everything on a very large scale, on a macro scale, like what we're doing, everything that we're doing is puny, is tiny. Okay, they don't got time for us, right? They don't care if we make it or don't make it. Like, if you're paying your mortgage, you're like, this is good. This is in a good standing section. Nobody messes with these good standing section. It's making us money. If you're missing your payments, they're gonna mess with you. They're gonna do all sorts of things. So make sure your deal is solid. So yeah, thank you for sharing that, DJ. Felix, brother, go ahead. You got your hand up.
Yeah, I had to unmute myself. I'm so used to these zones where they have to unmute you. How's everyone doing today? Happy Halloween, people.
Happy Halloween.
My question is, I'm looking at a brand new property being just got done being built. They're waiting on COs, but they do have at least 11 units rented out of the 37. You know, I do understand that, you know, if I am going to purchase this, I'm going to want it at least 90-95% occupied. So my question is while underwriting this, what do you do about taxes? How do I underwrite it with the taxes? Since right now there is no taxes because it's just brand new construction. They just got done building it all.
Yeah, I mean, you just find out how they assess the taxes in your county and your city, and then you're gonna estimate how much you're gonna pay for this thing, and then you know you can look. I mean, Mike, you probably have a better idea. I mean, where is this? This is in New Jersey?
This is in PA.
Okay.
Pennsylvania. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Felix. Nice to see you,
What?
man. It's been a while.
Yeah. So Mike gave me the best advice ever. You know, he's like, I've been one of those people that, you know, I need to learn everything before I even take one step forward. And he's like, bro, he goes, I just started this and I just, you know, got up and started running. So that's what I've been doing. So far I've invested in, you know, close to over 100 units.
Let's go.
Awesome. Yeah. That was, I was gonna say I was the opposite of let's stop evaluating everything and let's go do some things, right? Yeah.
Absolutely.
One of the things we do here, I don't know in Pennsylvania. So in Texas, it's easy to find people that go and protest taxes. And what I do is I keep one of them. We have a couple of them on our team that we just use them to do a few things. Like they go double check, even on new build stuff, new construction, they'll just go ahead and start playing out what is the tax protest plan is going to look like going forward. So you can talk to, you know, if you got those type of people in Pennsylvania, they're a good resource just to kind of look at what's the tax, you know, what's it look like now? What's it going to look like? What's it going to, you know, what's the future look like for this property, whether it's because a lot of the tax stuff on commercials are based off a lot different things than it is for residential. So they're looking at different things as far as what's happening, not just like, hey, has, you know, the neighbors property is going to value. There's a lot more that they look at. And they like, what are the other types of properties in the area? What's the revenue of properties? So just maybe look at that, Felix, see if there's some of those type companies or people that do that around that area.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And I would look at how you want to rent out this place too, because if you just want it to be 95% leased up, they can do all sorts of things to get that thing leased up. And you might not want that. There's a property this year that I didn't buy because they actually leased it all up. Like they leased it up for a year for $1,000 a unit. And I'm like, I can go and get $1,300 a unit. And I can also do short-term rental and get $2,000 a unit. Now I'm stuck with these guys for a year. So I actually didn't buy a deal in Vegas because they went and leased it all up. Like when I was looking at it in the beginning, I was, it was like, I think it was, I don't know, the first week it was on the market. I was like, yeah, I like this. 8 of the units were not leased up. I really liked it. And then the next day, they're like, yeah, we got 5 people leasing this up at $1,000 a unit. I'm like, no shit, because you're charging $1,000 a unit, right? So 6 people leased it up for a year. I'm like, now I don't even want the deal anymore. So that make or break this. So you also want to look at that too. Like if it's
That's right. I definitely looked at their structure plan, how they plan on renting it out, what price, price per unit they're planning on. So I said, based on that, that's what I'm going to put my offer at. If that structure changes, then my offer is going to change.
Yeah.
They
Okay.
decide,
Yeah.
then, everything's going to change.
Okay. Yeah, and I would be careful as well. Just, have some stipulations in there on the lease ups, because what'll happen, we've had it happen to us. People will do lease ups, but they don't do any credit checks. They don't do anything. They just they don't even have, they just like, hey, write your name down on this application, write down that you got a job and give us a deposit. And then we'll sign you up for a lease for, $2,000 a month or, whatever, but something higher than it's typical. So we've had that happen. It will definitely happen. It'll happen whether it's a new property or a property somebody's trying to, just get rates up to sell it. So it's a common practice, unfortunately. And we've seen it a few times now. So keep an eye on that. And you may want to do what Alex said, is you may want to come in and say either in your PSA or say, hey, I want to review or approve all leases, or I want you to wait on leases or something. So, just look into a few of those things when you're doing your LOI and PSA on some properties for sure.
There's
Awesome.
all sorts of stuff that they'll do, to make it look like it's gonna sell better or sell, yeah.
And it's amazing. I was surprised. You'd expect the bigger the properties, the more I think you typically can count on and trust, because they've got a lot of more at stake of like getting sued and things, than the smaller properties and some of these smaller places building stuff. So yeah, just keep a good eye on that. And then one of the things is, new lease ups like that, or things are, you're still gonna be doing bridge debt, but don't, right now I think we're not leaning away from bridge debt on our side. A lot of people like, hey, stay away from bridge debt, but I think right now is the time to lean back or be okay with bridge debt. Even Alex, I was talking with Tyler this weekend, and
yeah,
they're the same way. They're like, right now bridge debt is a good way to go. We're getting topped out right now on the interest rates, so it's not like it's going to keep going up and up. It doesn't appear. You may have one more blip, but
yeah,
it's not. The other thing is you're looking at bridge debt is you want to get in, get things turned, and then you're going to get out of it anyway and come back to an agency debt. So
yeah, I mean, I have so much of my deals that I've done also is on bridge, even on the single family duplex triplex side. I've gotten private loans on all sorts of things because it was, and I don't mind it cash flowed, and I was looking for a short term. No, like I don't want all the complications of getting the loan. I just want to get the loan, and then I get it stabilized, I get it to the top dollars, and then I go and refinance this thing. And there's properties that I own that I refinanced twice already. I put 125 grand in and I've refinanced it twice, 125K back out. Now the market has been favorable, but you know, this is just how the game is played. So when you refinance it into a more long-term fixed loan, you're also going to get it at, you know, 4% lower. You're going to capture the difference there too. If you can cash flow at a high interest rate right now, just what would it look like when you get that down into a lower interest rate? It'd be a monster. So I wouldn't completely run away from bridge as well, you know, like what Mike was saying. Yeah, so
Awesome. Thank
yeah, one thing, so Michael, I got you next. If you guys, we're gonna go into you know, breakout room networking shortly. So if you guys want, you know, in different rooms that you're in, or different Facebook chats or whatever, if you want to share that this is about to go down, we get more people to network with, that would be cool. I don't know how to share it.
Hey,
If you have like a link or something to help them share this thing, that would be awesome. So in different, wherever you are, you know, Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, whatever. Hey, Michael, this is how DJ almost burned down the house with a cigar. He put it in a plant and the plant freaking blew up.
Hey, DJ, if you need any cigar tips, you know, feel free to reach out to me. You know, I smoke some of the best you could probably even imagine. So I have two questions. I mean, Mike, you know, always good to see you, brother. You know, happy to be invested with you as an LP. You mentioned you were pursuing, well, you have 10-unit deals, smaller deals. Are those deals actually paying for the property management on those assets, or are you doing the property management yourself on those? First question.
Yeah, so we're actually so one of the deals is in Pekin, Illinois. It's 10 units, and we're using a property management. So it's a different style of property management than you know, where you have people coming on, you know, living on site. They're you know, they're just taking care of the bills and making sure everything's paid, making sure they pick up the leases, and if they take the phone calls, you know. So they charge a little more typically, so they're going to charge maybe, you know, 8 to 10% on something that's smaller like that, and then you still got fees for the you know, the whatever they do for maintenance and stuff like that, where they support maintenance. There's some fees on that, things, you know, those areas. So, you know, it's all up to the person. Like I'm never going to end up being, I've learned I'm not even great at really wanting to do like even asset management. It's not my place. So I find people that are going to be the asset managers for those that they enjoy that more, they're better at it, and they like that. And then we have a property manager, but then what we do is we've got 2 or 3 other properties around there. So it's not just typically one-off type situations either. Like, I don't know if I'd just go buy 10 units in Shreveport, Louisiana, for example. Or I pick that out because Rod Cliff was picking on it all. Every time he talks, he picks on Shreveport. But anyway, so they're, you know, just if it works out in your underwriting, and you know, it's an option. A lot of people stay away from it. It's still risky just because, you know, we've dealt with it here. We've got, you know, some smaller properties that are 16 or 24, and you end up just with a few vacancies, and it starts to hit your bottom line really hard, you know. So it's still riskier with the smaller units, but it, you know, it's still something to do. If you, it's not something to just say, hey, I don't want to do 10 units because it's too small. I think that's, I guess, what I would try to get at.
No, thanks for that, Mike. So next question, I mean, and hopefully this resonates to a lot of people, or new investors. So this is for, you know, anyone that's an experienced investor. This is my first time getting into multifamily. I just invested as an LP in making a portfolio. So I just wanted to know, are there any recommendations for multifamily tax lawyers to do taxes because from July on, I've invested in for about 5K into masterminds. I did the LP. I'm looking for K2 cost segregation, and then normally my wife and I, who's here for the first time on the call, we normally we have W2 jobs, make quite a bit of money, and we file jointly. So how do you kind of blend all that and then come out ahead with multifamily with a regular job in your tax situation?
I'll answer quick, and then I'll let Alex answer. Also, a few people were asking for my contact. I put my contacts in there as well in the chat. If anybody wanted to connect, just text me. Eventually, I'll reply today, but it may take a while to be able to set up some time to get together. But I'll at least get back to you. So if that's there. One of the things I would also do on the tax piece, there's a few, but there's one guy that's really great. His name's Tom Wheelwright.
Oh yeah.
Tom Wheelwright, one word, Wheelwright. He was a tax accountant lawyer, or accountant for Robert Kiyosaki for many, many years. And it maybe still is, I think. He does a lot of stuff with other people like Brad Sumrock, the real estate guys, and he works with a lot of others. He's got a couple books out and YouTube channels and stuff to follow. So one thing I would do is start doing a little bit of just self-education with that part of it, and kind of get understand some things better yourselves. And then I know Alex has a guy, and we also at Massive Capital have somebody I can connect people with, and if he's got it becomes if they've got time or their availability. But we have a guy that we use with Massive Capital, Bill Pilkington, and I know Alex has his guy that he even had on here that's great as well.
Yeah, so actually DJ put me in touch with this guy Brent. I'll have Brent come on and speak again in the next coming weeks, because last time that he was on this call, it blew up his calendar and he didn't even have time for me and DJ, so we had to.
Yeah, we can have Bill come on. Hey Alex, we can have Bill come on as well sometime if you want.
Yeah, let's do it.
He does speak. He spoke at some of our meetups and stuff here in Houston for us.
All right, cool. Let's do
Yeah,
that.
I don't think Brent was ready for that inflow of
I told him, hey, if 30 people come to you, can you handle it? He's like, yeah, I got a 12-person team in my company. I'm like, okay. And then I can't even get him on the phone. I'm like, dude, all these guys are freaking using you, and DJ brought me, who we brought all these people. So let's go. Gotta
be loyal to the first,
Seriously, man.
Yeah.
So
anyway, that's good. Bring him back, or we can bring somebody else if he's not available.
Yeah, let's do it. So we got quite a bit of a lineup in the couple weeks coming up. We have Tyler also going to be joining us shortly in the next couple of weeks. But again, if you guys missed it, next week, definitely don't miss my friend Hala, who's going to be on here. Young and Profiting is her podcast. She's going to be talking about social media. And she says there is nobody out there that is more on top of the LinkedIn game than her. So no, not Tyler DeVoe. Tyler, what's his name? Mike. Something with an R.
Yeah, I'll find it real quick.
Anyways, with Atlas Financial.
What's Bill's and Brent's last name as well?
Brent Clemens. What is it? Brent. What is it? DJ. What's Brent's last name? Brent Cement? Clemens?
Beement.
Oh yeah.
MENT.
That's
Tyler Carney DeBoard.
All right. Well, anyways, be on the lookout for these flyers of these different people that we're going to bring on. I'm going to try and get Mauricio as well. He's the syndication attorney with Rod Cleef.
Yeah, Rod's got 3 guys. We use one of them. One of them's Todd Robinson as well. He spoke at Rod's boot camp in Denver.
Yeah.
And Mauricio is one, and then Merrill Colliser It's his third one he brings in to his events as well.
Nice. So cool. Hey,
So they would all be good to have at different times. Sometimes what's cool, sometimes they're all at the same events, or a couple of them at the same event. And they kind of just do their own kind of panel discussion. So that's pretty neat.
Yeah. So, I mean, these events are where you just get so much information. Like basically you get all the information, you go out, you go do it, and then you run into a whole bunch of questions. You come back to these events, ask these questions. This is how you grow fast. And then if you go to multiple events, like we're literally just like bouncing from event to event. And we had an opportunity to join Rod Cleef's like executive like boardroom, which you have to have like a good track record, and you have to apply for it. So I think there's some other people in here that might also have joined the boardroom, which is pretty exciting. Yeah. So do you have any more questions, bro?
Well, no, yeah, no, thank you for the information. I mean, that's a lot of names and resources. I just asked if people have the names, put them in the chat. I'm actually looking for one, person that I can do my taxes with this year. So we're approaching tax season, but also that follow-on knowledge CPA I can work with over my, my journey through more investments and more multifamily deals. So that's kind of where I am now. But thank you for the advice.
Yeah, DJ, can you throw Brent's full name in there in the chat? And
Yeah, I got you.
yeah, throw his info in there or whatever. And just tell him you came from Alex and DJ, and be like, yo, don't forget.
Yo, I came from Alex and DJ and Mike Bailey, the legend.
Yeah.
No, he didn't know me.
But
Everyone
it's important, like as we share like about this call, a lot of people know about this call. Like Robert knows about this call, Rod knows about this call, and that brings more power to the people and bring us more powerful speakers to this call. I'm saying that by next year, Grant Cardone's going to be on this call. So, we all get to work together to make that happen. And if he hears it and sees it so many times and be like, who's this Alex dude? Actually, he knows me now, but he's going to be like, oh, okay, maybe I'll go check out his call. And at that point, we'll probably have like 700 people in this room. And imagine if we just had like 700 people going all the time, just networking in breakout rooms. That's my vision. My vision is to have this massive following where we just have this room open 24/7 and just running anytime you want. You just hop on and go meet some people. Anytime you got some free time, you just hop on and you get broken out into some room. So that would be awesome. Jasmine, I love that you got that thing. You kept it from Brad's thing? Oh man, I wish I kept it. Jeez. That's pretty funny. Oh my God. We need to, what we need to do? We need to get everyone's addresses so we can send everybody this thing too. Caroline, take that note down. Maybe we will do it. Probably not going to happen. Maybe. Okay. So any more questions before we break you guys out into rooms to meet each other and wake everybody up a little bit?
Hey, I didn't saw Jonathan's on there. I had a call with Jonathan today.
Which Jonathan? Where?
Iraqi.
Show yourself, Jonathan. There he is.
Yes, sir. Was an amazing call, Mike.
Jonathan and his team are one of the hardest working teams I've seen from the start. And I remember I was like, man, in the beginning when I first saw Jonathan, I was like, why does everybody know Jonathan? Like the first freaking event. And I think it was both of our first events. Somehow he's like, everybody knew him. So now I'm just, I'm trying to be like Jonathan, trying to be more popular,
No, come on, man.
No, seriously though, he was everywhere. I was like, dude, who's this guy? Every call I was on, he was on. Everywhere I went, he was there. So, okay. If you're just getting started, and if you want to get started, this is a perfect place and time for you to do so. Alex, do WhatsApp groups, please. Oh, okay. So if you are joining this call from like my Instagram, or you just like signed up somewhere and then you started getting spammed by me with all these messages that we have this call, and you end up here, this is an amazing place to network. We talk about multifamily mostly. This is one of the highest levels of investments that you can really get to. You go from multifamily, we do small multifamilies, you do ones that you can picture yourself doing. And then at some point you get to the institutional level, you get to the level where, you raise $6 million for a $60 million deal, instead of like what who shared earlier, like what Ian shared. You don't raise $12 million or $8 million for a $12 million deal. But okay, so what we do here a lot is we network. So networking, I've heard so many amazing stories that came out of this networking like this. So basically, turn your cameras on. All right, don't be afraid. Every time I say this, about 25% of people drop off. Let's see if we can keep everybody in here. So put your phone numbers behind your name, okay? And put your name, put your cameras on. We're gonna break you out into rooms of 4 to 5 people. We're gonna do it for about 10 minutes. I'll be breaking out into those rooms too, so maybe you'll see me in there. And then we all just get to introduce ourselves, share what we're up to, where we're at, where do we wanna go? What's our experience? What do we need support with? And then how can you support somebody? What do I need help with? And what can I help you with? All right. If you go into a networking room, that's really all you should be. You should be going around just finding out, what do you need? What do I need? What do you need? What do I need? All right. Everything else is just a bunch of other fluff conversations, which could be cool. But if you got limited time, like in these calls, get to the point. What do they need? How can I serve? What do I need? All right. So who can serve me? These are the 2 things you want to be really focused on. All right, so Caroline, can you take us into our rooms? So get ready to click yes and join into the rooms. And then Caroline, give us a 1-minute warning when, when the rooms are closing and we're coming back to this room. So we'll do this about 3 times, maybe 4 if we have the time, but 3 times.
I just dropped Brent's information in the chat. It's BMet and Company.
Okay. Let's go.
Click the join button to join your room.
Come on, y'all.
Everyone has a room, and you can go ahead and click the little prompt button that says join room. Alex, you're welcome to join the room too if you press breakout rooms.
I'm gonna.
Sweet.
Let's see. This room is where I'm going to.
So Caroline,
Yeah.
are you staying in the main room while Alex gets lost in Netherland?
You are correct.
You can bring him back if he gets lost.
Yeah. Yep. That's my role.
I'll see you later.
See ya. Nice. Hey, Mike, guess what?
Hey, what?
I got into the boardroom.
Oh, wow. Awesome.
I'm so excited.
Congrats.
Thanks.
So you're going next weekend?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's insane.
So who's bouncing around here? All right. Hey, so did you get any of the reports from Jasmine to start writing out the investor report for the properties?
Yep, I did.
Or do we have a template to look at yet? Or
did I create a template yet?
take what was like from, I think she was going to send you a couple.
Yeah, she sent me one at least. I can go back and look and see how many she sent.
Okay, and then to just make like, what would be something to create a nice, just an easy way to transition from that to a future. Eventually we probably gonna have, I think this first one we send out, we'll just go with just some pictures and words maybe.
Yeah, okay.
And then
You,
the next one, we should be able to have some graphs, like rent projections, rent, or occupancy and things like that.
okay.
So I don't know if we'll be ready for it for this, but I want to start having, so if you want to make some notes, if you could, like, or we can get together, just think about what's in the ones you've seen and what do we want to have in ours. And we'll see if we're going to have it for the next month or the month after it.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay.
Do you care if I make that in our CRM?
Yeah, no, it's no,
I'll
that's
add
fine.
everyone.
Huh?
I'll add everybody so everyone can be an admin.
Yeah, we were talking about it with Alex because we were looking at a few things actually of how could we better keep our team connected with our investors directly, where we were talking about, do we create a new CRM? Do we have a space in a CRM for us to like have our own little sandbox of people that we can connect with and do, be sure they're all there, be sure they're getting what they need and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
that was something that I didn't know the answer yet.
okay.
Or if you guys were going to figure it out, or Alex and you guys were going to figure that out.
Okay. Because we have the capability of making a new account so that whether it's per asset or maybe it's a Legends Equity Group, a CRM, we have the opportunity to make our own account so we could have email lists within it. So let's say it is like a Legends Equity one, we could have the email list separated out per asset on there, or we could have one user account per asset through the CRM.
Okay, see what looks like the most efficient and effective.
Okay.
And let it just kind of let us know. And I think that relates, with the asset management planning going forward then.
Okay.
Because the CRM is not that, I mean, this one's not for us, like, we're not chasing new investors or anything. We're just trying to keep our investors informed, and we need to keep them separated.
Exactly.
So having one together is good, where we can communicate certain things to all of our investors as a group. But I also got to talk to Alex, like being careful of not advertising to them, but sharing with them, okay, connect we're going to do a investors only group call like Cardone does on Fridays, but it's going to be for all of us, for all our investors. It's not for Alex lovely investments, and it's not for massive capital, or it's not for Legends. It's just for all of our investors to join. So
gotcha. Okay.
So if we can have a way to communicate that, but then also that they all get their individual reports per property.
Yeah, that's where making another account makes sense in my head.
So I know, like, constant contact and some you can have, which is different than a little than the CRM, but you can have one big CRM, but then you can have investor groups or groups within the CRM, but just being sure that group doesn't get cross communicated or anything.
Exactly.
So
cool. Sounds good.
So let us know which way you think to go with that as well.
Okay.
Okay. All right. I'm going to drop off.
Sounds good. Nice talking to you, Mike. Have a good night.
Too.
Happy
Have
Halloween.
a good night. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. Hi, Dominic.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm well. How are you doing?
Doing good. Went out,
Hey, let me
went out.
say that again.
I said I went out to go get my godson some candy.
Nice. That's awesome.
Hey, Caroline, are we in the same room?
Hi. No, this is the main session.
Okay. How are you?
I'm well. How are you doing?
Good. I heard you're going to the boardroom.
I am. Yeah, it's exciting.
Honey, we were in the middle of talking. You just hit
Oh, I didn't do anything.
you hit the
I didn't do anything. All of a sudden I got, sorry. All right.
Hello.
Well, I'm going to be there in December for
Okay.
sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's roll up in Grant's conference in December, and let's all let's get some swag. Let's get the Monday night show swag.
I'll be there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe you need a tee, Alex. Maybe you have to develop a T-shirt or something, right?
I
to
was
get
just going to say
together.
that, Barbara.
Open to
You
it.
read my mind.
Somebody take the lead on that. I'll wear whatever. Just make it cool. I'm down.
That'd
Make
be
a hat,
cool.
make a shirt.
Alex a tutu.
Huh?
We got to get Alex a tutu.
Whatever. If you guys all wear a tutu, I'll wear a tutu with you guys. Whatever
Is
to
that for
look like a
Halloween or is
team
that for every day? Is that for Halloween or for every day?
Yeah. Listen, it's great.
I do want to see Michael in a tutu.
Hey, W.
Yeah.
With a cigar, W?
Listen, it would be cool if we all show up to Grant's conference in December and we got some swag that we all, somebody here can create. It would look badass.
I'd love that.
Yeah.
I love teamwork. We were at one we were at that GrowthCon one, and there was a whole group wearing orange shirts, and you always knew they were together. It was cool.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yo, Alex, we've already proclaimed you the king of multi-families over here. So I think it's gonna involve some kind of crown. All right, some kind of freaking crown and somewhere the king or something.
I can't do that. Dr. Chow.
No, that's Brad, right? That's Brad Sumrock. He would not like that.
No, but remember,
anybody takes his title.
No, but we used to call Alex the king of neutral. Remember, the king of neutral is neutrality. So it was way before Grant, but we gotta get something royal.
Listen, I'm open to it. Let's
All right. Alex, it could be a lovely kingdom.
That's my LLC. It's called a Lovely Kingdom LLC.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, it's called a Lovely Kingdom.
That's an awesome name.
All right.
We need the swag. I need ideas for swag.
All right, we'll send out.
We could all wear capes. Yes,
Yeah,
you
we
got
can
your
all-
superpower on.
Yeah.
Or butterfly wings. Make
Okay,
butterfly
okay.
wings because we're all expanding.
Look at this. Everybody's all alive now once we do a breakout.
And it's
room.
Halloween.
Hey, Caroline, can you break it out into like 6 people per room? Is that how you did it?
Yeah, you want 6 people a room?
Yeah, I think 6 is better because there's a lot of rooms that end up like with like people that aren't joining it, ends up being like 3 or 2. So I want to
Okay.
make sure people have an opportunity to really connect.
Okay, done. Y'all ready?
I'm ready. Let's go. I'm in.
Get ready.
This is fun. Bye. Bye. Bye, Felix.
Hey, Connie.
Oh, bye, Connie.
See y'all
All right,
soon.
go ahead and join your rooms now.
Join.
Okay. Wait, are you breaking them into 8 rooms or 6 rooms?
6 rooms.
Oh, I mean 6 people per room, but
I know. I
There's
know.
like eight people per room right now.
You're right. I should have made it 7.
All right, that's cool.
People can have fun.
You're out? Yep. That way we'll get back at least,
Bye, Ryan.
today. All right. Yeah. Take the food, take the food. Oh, no, that's for you. We're gonna yeah. Man, that was good stuff. That was fun today. All right. Call you guys tomorrow. I go this one.
All right. See ya. You can stop the recording, Alex. Oh, shit. I messed up.